People always ask why I don't open the door after Maghrib anymore. I used to laugh at stories about jinn, call them cultural exaggerations, but one night outside my house, a woman turned around and for half a second she wore the exact face of Taylor Swift, before her features rippled like water and became something older than my entire bloodline. I have not slept properly since. It started on a Thursday, just before Ramadan. I was alone in the house because my parents had gone to visit my aunt at the hospital. Our street is usually noisy, kids, scooters, music from someone's car. But that evening it felt muffled, like someone had thrown a blanket over the whole neighborhood. Maghrib had just finished. I prayed in my room, lights off except for the glow from the hallway, and I remember feeling strangely proud of my khushu', my focus. I was so sure Allah had accepted that salah. I went downstairs to make tea. The kitchen window faces the street, and there's this old yellow street lamp that always flickers. That night it was worse. It would buzz bright, then go dim, then shudder back on like it was breathing. As the kettle started to hiss, I felt this sudden urge, no reason, no sound, that I needed to look outside. It felt like being tugged by the back of my neck. I pulled the curtain back with just 2 fingers. At first, I didn't see anything, just our broken wall, the iron gate, the asphalt shining slightly from earlier drizzle. Then the lamp flared and I saw her. A woman standing perfectly still in front of our gate, completely alone. Her back was to me. She wasn't doing anything, just standing. She wore a long, pale coat that brushed her ankles, and her hair was very light, almost silver blonde, falling straight down her back. No umbrella, no phone, no bag. Her hands hung at her sides. I remember thinking she looked wrong. Not scary yet, just like someone who had been standing too long in the same spot, like a statue put in the wrong place. I checked the time. It was past Isha, and we don't get visitors that late, especially not women alone. For a second, I thought maybe she needed help, maybe her car broke down. I opened the kitchen window just a little. The outside air felt colder than it should, a sharp kind of cold that didn't match the temperature that week. My skin prickled. "Hello?" I called out. My voice sounded smaller than I expected. She didn't move, not even a flinch. I swallowed. "Excuse me, are you okay?" Nothing. The street behind her was empty, silent in a way that felt unnatural. Even the usual barking of distant dogs was gone. The only sound was the faint buzzing of that broken lamp. I felt something inside me shrinking back, whispering that this wasn't right. My mind said, maybe she's deaf, maybe she's in shock. My fitra said, close the window. Instead, I did something stupid. I went to the front door. As I walked through the hallway, I felt the house watching me. It sounds strange, but that's how it felt. The walls, the ceiling, the stairs, it was like everything knew I was walking towards a mistake. My feet were suddenly heavy, like the air had turned to syrup. At the door, I put my hand on the latch and froze. A hadith flashed in my mind, one my mother used to say, "When night falls, keep your children close, for the devil spread out at that time." And the words of Allah, "Indeed, he and his tribe see you from where you do not see them." Surat Al-A'raf, Ayah 27. I whispered, almost without thinking, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim." The moment I said it, the woman outside moved. Not much, just a tiny tilt of her head to the left, as if she'd heard something behind her. But it was too precise, too synchronized with my words, like my isti'adha had pulled an invisible string attached to her neck. My heart kicked against my ribs. I didn't open the door. I stayed behind it and called louder, "Do you need help?" My voice echoed off the hallway walls. Slowly, painfully slowly, she turned. First, her right shoulder twisted back, then her neck, then the rest of her body, like she didn't quite remember how humans are supposed to move. The overhead bulb on our porch flickered. For a moment, her face was in shadow. Then the street lamp buzzed bright, and I saw her clearly. I almost laughed from shock. For half a second, less than a heartbeat, she looked exactly like Taylor Swift. Not a bit like her, not similar vibes. It was her. The sharp jawline, the red lips, the cut of her bangs, even the particular curve of her eyes. I'd seen that face in music videos, memes, everywhere. It was absurd, surreal, like my brain had slipped. Then her face rippled. That's the only word for it, like someone had dropped a stone in a clear pool and her features were made of water. The perfect celebrity face shivered, blurred, and slid downward in waves. Her eyes melted into her cheeks, her mouth stretched too wide, then snapped back too narrow, then too low. Bones shifted under skin with a muffled, crackling sound I could hear even through the door. I stumbled back from the peephole, my hand flying to my mouth. My whole body had gone cold. Ya Allah, I whispered. I wanted to run upstairs, to hide under my blanket like a child, but my legs wouldn't move. Compelled, I looked again. The Taylor Swift face was gone. In its place was something wrong. It resembled an old woman, but not any human old woman I've ever seen. The skin looked too tight and too loose at the same time, hanging in folds that twitched, then smoothed unnaturally. Her eyes were the worst, huge, too round, with irises that were almost colourless, like thin ice over dark water. They didn't blink. They just fixed on the door, on me, as if she could see straight through the wood. Her lips moved, but they didn't match the words I heard. It was like her mouth was forming one language, while the sound that reached me was another. What I heard was my own voice, my exact voice. "Open the door," it said, perfectly calm. "I need to talk to you." My knees almost buckled. I pressed my back against the wall, heart racing, feeling the vibrations of my pulse in my fingertips. "This is a jinn," I told myself. "This is a jinn. This is real. This is what they do." I remembered reading Ibn Taymiyyah's words, how he said the jinn can take on many shapes and that they often use forms that attract or deceive humans. And in that moment, I realized why she had chosen that first face. Because we fill our eyes and minds with these images, these celebrities, until they become familiar doors in our brains. She had knocked using a door I recognized. "Open the door," my own voice repeated from outside, just a little sharper. The porch light went out with a soft pop, plunging her face into darkness, but I could still feel her gaze like two fingers on my forehead. The house felt like it was shrinking, the walls leaning in. I did the only thing I could think of. I started reciting Ayat al-Kursi. My tongue felt heavy, but the words came, tripping a little, then stronger. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa, al-hayyul qayyum. As I recited, something changed outside. The sound, the presence, it flinched. I couldn't see her clearly anymore, but I felt it, like a recoil. Her voice, my voice, came again, but distorted now. "Stop that." The tone was still calm, but underneath there was this grinding echo, like stones dragged over metal. "You don't need that." I raised my voice, reciting louder, stumbling into Surah Al-Falaq and An-Nas, the Mu'awwidhatayn. "Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq, qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas." My eyes filled with tears. I wasn't just reciting, I was clinging, like someone drowning grabbing a rope. The air outside the door vibrated. I felt it through my fingertips where they pressed against the wood. A low, layered sound rose, like a crowd whispering and growling at the same time, but in no language I knew. Then something scraped slowly down the door, starting at eye level and sliding to the bottom like long nails or claws or something harder. Open, the word came again, not like my voice anymore, not like anyone's voice, just a shape of sound squeezed through something that hated the Quran. My stomach twisted. I shouted, almost screaming, Allahumma hfa'ni, oh Allah, protect me. My voice cracked. Tears spilled hot down my cheeks. I forced myself to finish the surahs, to say, Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama wa huwa as-sami'ul alim. And then, silence. No buzzing lamp, no scraping, no voice. The air cooled. The house felt normal again, or as normal as it could after that. I stayed frozen against the wall for what felt like an hour, but it was probably only minutes. When my parents finally came home, I didn't tell them everything, not at first. I just said there was a strange woman outside. My father stepped out to look. The street was empty. The lamp shone steadily, no flicker, no footprints, no sign anyone had been there. Later that night, I told my mother the truth. She didn't laugh. She didn't call me crazy. She just grew very quiet and said, The Prophet ﷺ told us, the shaitan flows through the son of Adam like blood. They know what we love, what we follow, what we admire. She looked me straight in the eyes. You think it just guessed that face? I deleted a lot from my phone the next day. Not because music is the main issue, but because I understood something. Whatever fills your heart becomes a mask the unseen can wear to knock at your door. And some of them, like Ibn Kathir said, take forms to mislead, to frighten, or to invite. I still see her sometimes when I close my eyes. The moment of the ripple, the beautiful familiar face melting into something older and hateful. I know now that Alamul Ghaib, the world of the unseen, is not a story, not a movie trope. It is around us, watching, waiting for gaps in our dhikr, in our modesty, in our obedience. If you think this is just entertainment, remember, they can see you from where you cannot see them. Keep your tongue wet with dhikr, guard your eyes and heart, and do not answer every knock that feels familiar. Indeed, Allah is the best of protectors.